Hi, I'm Joe Connolly, and today we have something a little bit different for you. We're going to talk about the importance of our kids and grandkids and children learning about business, starting out as learning about personal finance. And I want to introduce you to our guest today, Brother Thomas Cleary, president of Chaminade High School on Long Island. And this discussion came about in an unusual way. And, brother, take us behind the scenes as to exactly how it is that you and I and Neil A. Carousso, who'll come up later, started talking today.
Thank you, Joe. Good morning. Good morning, Neil. Good morning. It actually started several weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago. I listened to your segment whenever I can and heard you talking about the importance of teaching financial literacy to high school kids and teenagers and how important that is. And as I heard you say those words, I'm like, wow, we have been doing that for years. And we reached out to you. I had our director of marketing and communications, Guy Lacanata, reach out to you and tell you we're doing exactly what you're advising us all to do. So it was exciting to hear it on the radio.
And that was so nice to get your note. And the story was something that I picked up that Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell had said way deep into his news conference, long after most of the cameras were turned off. And he took a question from a student about why should I be interested in economics? And here is what the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell himself said. Thank you for that question, Sandra. Let me start by saying that I really wished that I had had a course in economics and just in basic personal finance when I was in high school. He went on to say very briefly here, economics is about trade-offs. You give up one thing in order to get more of something else. Whether we realize it or not, we do this every day, managing our scarce resources, whether they be money, time, or whatever. Economics and financial literacy help you throughout life. Isn't that the truth? So, what are you teaching right now, brother,
So
at Shaman?
right now, our teachers, we have two full-time teachers, two instructors, and they're focusing on really giving these students the tool kit. So when they graduate Chaminade, they can live smart in a financial world and exposing them to the world of business and finance at the same time, really teaching them how their money works. When Bloomberg came to us, it was around spring of 2014, I got a phone call from the Bloomberg company asking if Chaminade would be interested in running a pilot program on the high school level. And immediately we said, this is huge for us. And I got engaged with them. And since 2014, and we've just built up a great financial literacy course that every one of our juniors and seniors takes. So we have over 800 students take this course once a week for 2 years straight.
What is the topic or the concept that they pick up on and really get interested in?
Well, it's interesting. It certainly pivots according to what's happening in the market each day. So they'll normally begin class with a look at the global markets and investigate why the top news stories are happening that day and how that's affecting the global market. Then there's application to real life scenarios, and that really grabs the attention of the young men here. They also focus in the syllabus for this course on credit card debt, impact of interest rates on your life, on mortgages, on personal loans, on credit cards, the importance of investing for retirement early, whether it's Roth IRA or 401k, and the power of compounding interest. So we're trying to give them a full financial literacy course. And again, it's over 2 years, not just the Bloomberg tool and not just the Bloomberg computers, but really a full-fledged financial literacy course, how money works.
Over 2 years, that is really impressive, and they're going to benefit for life from that. What animates them, though? What is it? Credit cards that they get excited about, or getting their first job, or what?
It's about investment and making investments. So the instructors start them off with, I think, using marketwatch.com, and they invest in different groups $1 million here, and that runs for that investment challenge runs the entire year, and then the student who performs the best wins something at the end of the year, and then they also have the class that does the best wins something at the end of the year. So anything that's competitive with our guys just really engages them from the very beginning to the very end of the year.
Investing right off the bat. These are smart kids. They want to let their money work for them while they're still in school.
They absolutely do. And it's honestly, you walk in the hallway and you see kids checking on their iPad what their investment is doing that day and where it's going. And you hear the conversation in the hallway. And these are, 17, 18-year-old kids who are really interested. And that's how the teachers keep them really interested in the course.
Wow, that's great. Producer Neil A. Carousso has more recent personal experience in education than I have. Neil, what would you like to ask about or suggest here?
Well, Joe, I think that these lessons are so valuable because it's real life. And, brother, when I was kind of looking into the program at Chaminade, it struck me that not only are these lessons that apply to life, but for me personally, when I was in high school and I went to St. Francis Prep, so, similar to Chaminade in a high school, Catholic high school, I thought that for me, using money for the first time and my own money and spending that was the best lesson. So what are you doing at Chaminade that is helping your students prepare for the real world in how to use money?
Great question. And, I think for many of us, we learned how money works just by making the mistakes along the way and making those first decisions on our own. And we really want to empower our young men here to have the knowledge of how their money works before they actually have to, press that button and put it into action. So for them to understand really practical consequences of credit card debt, they're going to colleges and they get hit up by a lot of credit card companies to take this credit card out. But what does it mean when you have, compounding interest? How does that affect your credit card? Why should you avoid credit card debt? What's all the other pitfalls associated with that? So to give them that knowledge so they have the understanding so that when they are faced with those decision points, they can go back to what they've learned and hopefully make better decisions.
Brother Thomas, what have alumni told you about how this course has helped set them up for financial freedom, in a sense?
We've heard a lot of feedback, and that really has shaped the growth of this program since we started, back in 2014, and now have really for the past several years this full 2-year financial literacy course. A lot of it was based on the feedback of our alumni. More than half of the students in the program, so over 400 of our students in this program, received their Bloomberg certification while at Chaminade. So they're going into college and have that on their resume. And I can't tell you how many of our graduates have said to us, they've been questioned by, the dean of the business school or whatever college they're at, wondering how do they possibly get their Bloomberg certification prior to graduating high school. So that helps the conversation and open the door for them. But for many of them, we get emails saying, this just really teed them up. I got one email recently saying that his course at Chaminade was probably one of the most influential courses he had in terms of helping him decide what he wanted to study and where his passion was. So I know the two instructors, Mr. Kevin St. Pierre and Mrs. Tina Karlstrom, get a lot of feedback from the alumni from their classes, and that helps shape the course and how we best serve our kids.
I want to let you know that at the end of this, Brother Thomas will suggest for parents and teachers who may be viewing this video a couple of books that they use and recommend. And I also want to ask for teachers, do you know if they can call Bloomberg, or is this an ongoing program at Bloomberg? How could you suggest they could make a connection exactly the same as you did, or maybe with a local bank or with anybody?
I think there would be on the local level a lot of banks who would love to help educate students in high school, and it's a win-win for everyone involved. And as far as reaching out to Bloomberg, we've had a couple of schools contact us as they've heard of our program, and we'll give them the name of our representative at Bloomberg they could reach out to. Certainly, if anybody wants to reach out to me at Chaminade, they can do that, and we can connect them as well. But it's a program that really was timely, was needed, and it's really serving our kids well.
And how do you teach it? And we'll get back to Neil. I understand you have taught this course yourself. How do you teach it so that economics and personal finance are not boring to these students who probably even haven't earned a single paycheck yet?
As I mentioned earlier, you introduce that idea of a challenge, anything that's going to really engage them from the beginning. But then our teachers are exceptional. They have such previous background in the financial market. One of our teachers, Kevin St. Pierre, Chaminade graduate, had 2 sons go to Chaminade. He spent 20 years as an equity research analyst at Sanford and Bernstein. And our other teacher, Mrs. Tina Karlstrom, had 2 sons graduate Chaminade. She spent 28 years on Wall Street, worked at Merrill Lynch and Citigroup, serving as managing director of global equity sales and trading departments. So they come with really, really solid, concrete experience and can really engage with the students in the class. Like, what is happening on the market right now today? Why did Tesla's stock goes up? Why did Apple's stock go down? And bring up on the flat screens in the financial lab, what's exactly happening in the market in real time. And that really engages the kids.
That's exactly what Chairman Powell said. It reflects decisions being made. Neil?
And where the market goes, how it affects not only, interest rates, but how does that affect mortgage loans and credit card debt and, just the economy globally. When Nike has a great product that comes out, look what happens, just one pair of sneakers. And I've seen the instructors take one really minute detail in the news that day. Why did this stock go up or down? And they just show the ripple effect across the globe in so many different sectors. It really
talking about Tesla and Nike are 2 great avenues to getting their attention. I see what you're doing here, Neil.
Popular brands for high school students.
Absolutely, and that engages them.
Right. And because they can apply that to real life, they think about, buying sneakers or what have you. And, Joe and I really find, though, that covering these business stories, we see how business affects everyday life. And it strikes me that personal finance and this course may set students up for starting a business potentially, or just, things that they can apply to how they handle their money when they are in the workforce. Have you had any entrepreneurs come out of this?
It's funny you asked that. We have seen a growing interest in entrepreneurial business. And we actually have a Chaminade Alumni Entrepreneurship Association because of that growing interest in that field. We have a number of young men who are still in college who've started their own businesses and have said that this financial literacy course really helped them navigate the ups and downs of starting a business while a college-age student. So again, we're seeing in real time the benefits of this course. And I think over long term, the benefits of our young men going into the business world with a solid understanding of how money works and how to make it work better for themselves and for our society is a win-win for everybody.
Well, I'll use a business term, sold. You have sold me, and I think many teachers and parents, on the desirability of teaching financial literacy in high school. And some parents tell me, I wish that my community had that. So thank you for giving us access to call you, Brother Cleary, at Chaminade for any leads, or Bloomberg. And
absolutely.
I'm going to let the Federal Reserve press office know about how this program has come about. I think that they'll be interested and pleased to see how a radio report led to this, and we propagate the need for financial literacy education. So with the holidays coming up, here's Brother Thomas Cleary with a couple of possible book recommendations for your students to learn about business and finance.
Well, I could recommend 2 books that really come from one of the instructors of the course, Mr. Kevin St. Pierre, 2 books he references a lot in the course. One is The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clayson, and the second book is Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. And both books I know get a lot of reference in this course. And I know quite a number of students who picked them up because the teachers have recommended them.
Those are great suggestions. Kahneman won a Nobel Prize for that, for one of his books. I don't know if it was for
Economics,
that one.
right?
And Chris Zane, the owner of Zane Cycles in Connecticut, which sells bicycles all over the country, has all of his employees, when they come to work for him, he gives them, brother, a copy of The Richest Man in Babylon to read when they come to work for him. I will throw in one other one.
Right.
And this is especially for teachers. This is the Wall Street Journal Guide to Understanding Money and Investing. And I checked with the Journal yesterday. Apparently, they don't publish this anymore. I wanted to see if you could get copies in bulk or individual ones. But teachers could find these. They're quite good on Amazon, and I believe they're being used editions in good condition. So
Joe always gives me a good book for Christmas, so I
Yeah,
can dig into it.
That's one I hope I get. I'm gonna have to track that one down. I'll take a used copy of that.
well, thank you, Brother Cleary, and everybody at Chaminade for giving us the gift of education during these holiday seasons, and for furthering the discussion about the need for students to learn about money. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you, Neil. It was great. Have a great weekend. Thank you.